Hello everyone, welcome to UPSC Mains PYQ series, and today we shall be discussing the geography question from 2024 question paper. So our question is, what is sea surface temperature rise and how does it affect the formation of tropical cyclones? So basically it is asking two things. First of all, you have to write what is sea surface temperature rise. Second, what is the effect of this rise on the formation of tropical cyclones. So for this, to answer this question, you must know that what the question is actually not asking. The question is not asking to explain the formation of tropical cyclones. Formation of tropical cyclones, it's not asking. It's not asking the factors affecting the formation of tropical cyclones. It is not asking this also. The question has given one of the factors which affects tropical cyclones, and the second part is asking that how you have to explain how that particular factor is affecting its formation. So out of 3-4 factors which are affecting tropical cyclone, the question is one of the factors. So you don't have to explain the entire cyclone, then you will explain the eye of cyclone, then you will explain the eyeball of cyclone, not needed. You have to just write the impact of the sea surface temperature rise on this. Okay? So, now let's discuss what is sea surface temperature rise. Sea surface temperature rise. So it's nothing but increase. For example, this is question. So sea surface temperature is the increase in the temperature of outermost layer of sea, and this increase in temperature can be because of various factors which we will be discussing. Okay, so basically this sea surface acts as a link between the atmosphere and the ocean surface. And linkage of atmosphere and ocean surface creates what we call as climatic or weather patterns. So we have discussed this thing. What is sea surface temperature, right? And if you have any data, you have to put the data also. So according to a report, the sea surface temperature has become twice the rate as it was before 20 years. So basically, the rise of sea surface temperature is increasing year after year, decade after decade. Okay, so we are done with this. Now, how the sea surface temperature is affecting the formation of tropical cyclones. Okay, so now impact on the formation of tropical cyclones. Formation of tropical cyclones. See, I will explain the mechanism, then based on that, you can write your answer. So, see, for example, this is sea surface. Here, we will write the final conclusion of this. That basically 3-4 points, that how sea surface temperature is affecting the formation. Here we are understanding the phenomenon. So this is sea surface. For example, if the temperature is increased. Okay, if the temperature increased, so it will heat up the air which is near the surface. Heat up the air which is near the surface. Okay, so first of all, it will heat up the air. Also, because of the high temperature, because of the warm waters, it will result in evaporation. So as a result of evaporation, this warm air will become moist. Warm plus moist air. Okay, and as the air becomes warm, its capacity to hold moisture also increases. Moisture increases. So basically what is happening? Air is warm, now air is moist. Also the capacity of air to hold moisture is also increased. So as there is continuous supply of moisture, the capacity is also very high. So the parcel of air can carry more moisture. Okay. So now this warm and moist air will rise. Why it will rise? Warm and moist air will become light, and if the air becomes light, it will rise. Okay, and as it rises, the air starts to cool. Why air starts to cool? Because as the air rises in the upper layers, the pressure drops, and as the pressure drops, the air will cool. It will change its form. Okay, so this is one thing. Now, here you must also understand the difference between the rising of warm air and rising of warm plus dry air and rising of warm plus moist air. You have to understand this difference also. See, I will explain here. This is warm air parcel, warm plus dry, and this is warm plus moist air parcel. So what will happen? See, the warm plus dry air, it will cool rapidly. It will cool rapidly. But what will happen in warm and moist air? See, as the warm and moist air rises, okay, so here there will be conversion of vapor into liquid. Because when it starts to cool, it will try to change its form. So when the vapors are converted into liquid, it will release the latent heat of vaporization. So as the parcel of air tries to cool itself, as the parcel of air tries to convert in liquid form, this latent heat of vaporization doesn't allow it to completely convert it into the liquid form. So because of, the parcel of air is rising, now it is trying to cool down, but because of this heat, it will again rise. So because of this, the height of cyclone can reach up to the tropoballs. Because of this. But the same thing can't be happened in warm and dry air. Because there is no extra energy to pull the air upward. As the dry air rises, it cools, and when the air cools, it becomes heavy, so it can't rise above that. But the same thing can't be happen here because of the latent heat of vaporization. So all these things are the result of the sea surface temperature. Okay, so basically now we will note down all the points. So what are the impacts of sea surface temperature on formation of cyclone? So first impact will be, it will provide the required moisture for the formation of cyclones. Okay, it will increase the capacity, moisture holding capacity of air particles. Okay, and third thing which I will say, that it will increase the gradient, which will increase the intensity of cyclone. Okay, why I am saying gradient? Because see, if the temperature is high here, so if the temperature is very high here and upper layers of atmosphere have low temperature, then the rise in the wind will be very high. Means the speed of the rise will be very high. So I am saying that it will increase the intensity of cyclone. And so in intensity, second thing I can include is that, see, as this air rises, so surrounding air will come here to fill this, right? See, this is the sea surface. So see, as this air gets heated up, it will rise. Okay. So if the air from here rises, it creates a low pressure because now no air is here. So surrounding air will come to fill this gap. Okay. So the surrounding air is coming. Now because of Coriolis force, instead of coming in simply in straight direction, it will try to spiral. This air will come, it will spiral. This air will come, it will spiral. So as a result, this will create an eye of cyclone. And this is eye of cyclone. Okay, so in this way, the height of cyclone goes on increasing, and this is tropopause. So because of high temperature, what is happening? Here the speed of spiraling will also increase and the speed of rising air will also increase. Okay, so basically we have discussed three things. It will provide the moisture, it will increase the capacity of air by heating up the air, and it will increase the gradient, which will increase the capacity, which will increase the intensity. Okay. So I think this was actually asked in the question. So now please pause the video for 7 minutes, write your answer, and then we shall be discussing the detail. So let's discuss. So basically, first of all, you have to write the definition of sea surface temperature, right? So basically, it's the increase in the temperature of uppermost layer of the ocean. And to increase the impact of your answer, you can write that it acts as a link between ocean and atmosphere. Okay, and you have to quote any data also, because it is part of climate change. So you can quote that the rate has become twice. The rate, it was 20 years. Now coming to the body part, the factors leading. So see, we have discussed that how sea surface temperature is impacting the cyclones. But first of all, you have to provide in brief the reasons also why the sea surface temperature is rising. So first reason is the emission of greenhouse gases. See, if the greenhouse gases rise, they will trap more heat. And if more heat is trapped, it will result in global warming. And the resulting heat is being absorbed by the oceans. 90% of heat is absorbed by the ocean. Because of this, temperature of the surface is rising. Second is the El Nino events. So see, in El Nino events, actually what is happening? For example, this is Australia. This is South America. So actually in normal condition, what is happening? This is your Walker cell. That air rises, air subsides, and this completes your Walker cell circulation. But in El Nino, what will happen? That, see, in normal conditions, here is cold water, here is warm water. But during El Nino condition, warm water will be distributed all over the surface because the Walker cell will become deep. So because of warm water, the frequency of cyclones will increase. Okay, so this is the reason for El Nino. Now coming to the ice melt. So why ice melt? Because the snow has the capacity to reflect the sunlight. What we call as albedo effect. But as the snow melts, the capacity to absorb the sun rays will increase. As a result, the oceans will absorb more heat and the temperature will rise. Now, coming to so we have already discussed the phenomena, how sea surface temperature is leading to formation. So basically, it is rising of warm air, more intense storms, and if the storm become more intense, if the storms are more intensified, they can come in the category of 4 and 5. And you can also see the condition of super cyclone. When the speed reaches more than 250 kilometers per hour, the cyclone can be converted into super cyclone. And because of the temperature rise of sea surface, these conditions can increase in future. So the cyclone India, that was Amphan cyclone, Amphan tropical cyclone, it got converted into super cyclone, which resulted into havoc. Okay, now we discussed the impact on cyclone. Then we should discuss various dimensions also. That how the patterns of cyclone are affected. So generally we say that the ratio of cyclone in Bay of Bengal to Arabian Sea is 4:1. Means more cyclones occur in Bay of Bengal. But over a period of time, as the temperature is increasing, so the frequency in Arabian Sea is also increasing. So this ratio also got distorted. Okay. Second thing is the rapid intensification, which we already discussed. Because of the temperature rise, super cyclones like Amphan can become more frequent in future. Now, coming to the characteristics of cyclone. So see, if the intensity of cyclone increases, if the rising of air increases, obviously it will lead to the formation of clouds, cumulonimbus clouds. And if the formation of clouds increases, the rainfall will definitely increase. Okay. And wind velocity we already discussed. No, because of the temperature gradient, the wind velocity will increase. Okay, so these all were the impacts of change in sea surface temperature on the formation of tropical cyclones. Okay, so basically when you conclude this answer, no, you can write that okay, tropical cyclones are creating impact on biodiversity, on human life, on infrastructure. So the main cause of this increase in frequency is the global warming. So basically when you conclude this answer, you can write the solutions for global warming. So when you conclude, recently UNEP has adopted 6-sector solution to deal with the climate change. What is 6-sector solution? That it has quoted 6 sectors where you have to reduce the greenhouse gases emissions. So those sectors are included the agricultural sector, the energy sector, the transportation sector, infrastructure sector, etc. So if you deal with the greenhouse gas emissions in these 6 sectors, you can easily tackle the effect of climate change. Okay, so that's all for this question and we will meet next. Thank you.